hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for being here. I know I have been MIA again. um, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail or anything. I'm just going to say that life got challenging. So I needed to take some time to myself. And I definitely, when I'm in a certain energy, I can't sit down and just deliver messages. I'm not going to do that to myself, and I'm not going to do that to you guys, because I won't give the best advice. I won't give the best messages. I have to make sure I'm in the right energy for it. And life got tough, and I wasn't in the best energy to be able to bring y'all the messages that y'all deserve. So thank y'all for being patient with me, and I appreciate all y'all still sticking around. And so this is going to be a different type of reading, as you can tell by the title. We are going to take a look and see what the new moon is bringing your way. So the new moon is on Wednesday, which is the 25th, which is actually also my birthday. And not only is it my birthday, it's my 40th birthday. So the number 4 does represent Cancer, the 4th house. So the synchronicities didn't get past me. So I'm excited about the new moon. I'm hoping it brings in some new good things my way, especially after the challenges that I've experienced this year so far. So we are going to use this is the Moonology Manifestation Oracles. So you know Moonology has a bunch of different oracles. This is the Manifestation Oracles. So we're going to pick from 4 piles. I'm going to give this a quick shuffle. And, okay, so pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's see if we have any Cancer energy here. Pile 1, y'all have first quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. Pile 2, well, 2 fellow water signs. You have the first quarter moon in Pisces, honor your feelings. Pile 3, y'all have the last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. In pile 4, y'all have the full moon in Cancer. There's some Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. Okay. So, like always, there'll be a little bit of a meditation after the intro. If you need it, you can set your intentions. I definitely, and my advice here would be to definitely set your intentions, and definitely in a reading like this, for whatever you need to hear for your highest good going into this new cycle. If you're having a hard time, always kind of, if you're feeling like you just cannot pick a pile, like you just cannot figure out which pile is yours, you can always come back to this reading at a later date, or maybe just meditate on it for a little while. Just meditate, and when you come out of that meditation, come back to the reading and see if something stands out to you. But also, remember, these are general readings, so not everything's going to fit to your story. If you start to feel like it's not where you are, it's way outside of where you want to be, or way outside of where your life is at this time, then perhaps maybe that's just not your reading. But it could be a reading for someone that's close to you. You can always pick up on others' energy depending on how close you are in their energy. So take that, and maybe you can use that as advice for a friend or a family member or whoever. Okay, so keep all that in mind. Timestamps for everything will be down below, and I will see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the first quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. So I am going to read to y'all a little bit of what's in this card, because it talks about what you should be releasing. It also talks about, like, manifestation wise. Turned right to it there. Okay. So this says, when this sorry, hold on. When it comes to pushing through your fears and any other negative feelings, you're going to have to dive deep. The only thing that we have to fear is fear itself, because fear blocks us. Make time to clear any toxic feelings around you. Don't let pride stop you from showing how dearly you want something. It's okay to be vulnerable. If you know the people you're dealing with are trustworthy, think about others as much as yourself. The manifestation mix is: there's light and shade in your situation, and you need to embrace it. Don't get stuck on one idea or refuse to budge. The manifestation mindset says, think what a mental detox would involve for you. For example, avoiding people that you argue with, and violence on TV, etc. Make time for it soon. Okay. So, one of the things here that's sticking out to me is that it says, not to get stuck on one idea or refuse to budge because of fear, being afraid. And then the other thing I feel like, as far as the mindset goes, where it talks about you need to do a mental detox. So there could be something around you that you may be using like as a coping mechanism or coping with you to help you overcome some sort of blockage or fear, or some sort of negative mindset that you have around a particular situation, where you kind of get stuck more in the shadow side and you're having a hard time staying fixated on the light side of things. This could also be something where your pride, like it says, gets in the way and creates a blockage for you to be able to overcome this fear. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to put this right here. Sure. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple of oracle cards, and I guess we're going to start with the energy and spirit oracles. And then we'll move on to some of the Once Upon a Dream oracles. Okay, so while I'm shuffling, I'm going to say, so this new moon in Cancer that's on Wednesday, Cancer energy is all about home. Cancer energy has to do with, hold on, let me look at my notes here. Cancer energy has to do with the home, the family, and the emotional well-being. It says Cancer's nurturing energy encourages introspection and setting intentions for personal growth. So this particular new moon is about the idea of cultivating inner security and connecting with loved ones. Okay, so with that being said, what is this new moon bringing your way? What do you need to know about this new moon? What is this new moon bringing your way for pile 1? Personal guide, number 38, guardian angel and spirit family. And we just talked about family. Okay, so this could be an energy that you feel as far as personal guide goes. It is the number 38. Or this could be actually someone around you, even like a guardian angel, someone that spirit sends your way to help you kind of guide you through this blockage, through overcoming your fears here. Oh yes, that's better. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we're going to pull some of the Once Upon a Dream oracles. These are from Moon Moth Goddess, who's also a tarot reader. I've had these for a long time, and I haven't used them very often. In the past, I guess probably the past year or so. Okay, so we want to know what can pile 1 expect from this new moon? What can pile 1 expect from the new moon? Planning. What can pile 1 expect from the new moon? barrier. What can pile 1 expect from the new moon? Yearning. Competition. Bottom of the deck says message. Messages. Okay. This is going to be interesting. So what can you expect from the new moon? Let's move these over here so I have some room for the tarot. Okay, so I am going to use the, this is called the Mind's Eye Tarot. I'm going to start shuffling while I'm talking. I think the new moon, I think you're going to get some sort of a message here. I mean, I don't know. You have patience that's underneath that. So this could either be you sending a message or someone you receiving a message. But I think you're going to get some sort of message. There's something to do with needing to make plans or making plans. And there's this barrier that's here. So like some boundaries that are in place. And this may be what you're afraid of. You may be afraid of, you know, being blocked, because you do have release your blocks, but you may be afraid of being blocked. You have this yearning here, so it's definitely something that you're wanting, something that you feel like is something that you desire, something that you're yearning for, something that you feel like that you've wanted, you know, like you really want whatever this is. But you may have some kind of competition here, or at least this is maybe what you're afraid of. Okay, so let's see what this has to do with. Explain planning here, please. For pile 1. 2 of Swords. So making a decision about a plan. Setting a plan into motion. I'm losing my voice already. So I do feel like that this is about you having to make a decision. This is why you're having to face your fear here. Make a decision and make a plan. Barrier. You have the Magician in reverse. You may not feel like you're in control with this plan that you want to make, that you're yearning for. You may not feel like that you have everything you need in order to kind of understand how to break through this barrier to get past something. This is maybe something that you fear as well. Look, they're in the same dress. Type of dress. This is kind of like, how do I get past this barrier, this gate, this restriction? How do I get past this? You have Virgo and a little Gemini there. Or Gemini, a little Virgo. You have a Knight of Pentacles here with yearning. So this is like slowly but surely, like something, this is like something that you feel like is taking a really long time. Like something that you feel like is causing you to, like it's just difficult, you know. But the Knight of Pentacles, he's slow, but he's slow because he's dead set on his goal and what he wants. So he knows that it's going to take some time, but he's dedicated to making sure that he does everything that he possibly can, you know, on that journey there. He learns everything he possibly can. He knows going into it, it's going to take some time because that's the way that he is. And this is like something that you're yearning for, but there's a feeling of you also knowing that this is going to take a lot of energy. And this is also about going after something that you're yearning for. But this is such a slow moving energy to be going after something that you're yearning for. And it could just be like being on that journey, you know, so wanting to move forward. Competition. The 8 of Cups. You may be afraid of not being chosen, like with competition, and the 8 of Cups is about, you know, moving on from something, going towards needing to find your 9 of Cups. So you may be afraid that there's fear here that you're not chosen. Like there's a fear here of not being chosen. Why is the Two of Swords here? What is this? Planning and decision. The Two of Swords. The Hierophant. This has to do with something that, like, this is a commitment here. So you're committing to this plan. But this is something that's very difficult because the Hierophant is about, this could be like a higher authority. This could be like a new, opportunity and some sort of, institution. This could be like, something like that. Studying, going to college, a new business opportunity or adventure. This could be like a commitment with someone. But there's this needing to plan and this indecisive energy that's here. The Two of Swords is the blockage for me. Whether or not or what you can commit to is here. But you may feel like there's a part of you that feels restricted from being able to really like manifest exactly what you want from this with the Magician here. Taurus energy with the Hierophant. You have the Star. Yeah, this is your wish. Aquarius energy. So either you really want this wish here, this desire that you have, or you really want to heal something here, You really want this, but you feel like you don't have, you're restricted here because you don't have something that you need, or you don't have the right tools in order to obtain this thing that you want. Like you just feel restricted. So why is the Knight of Pentacles here? Ooh. It's the Ten of Swords. This is like slowly getting over something. The Ten of Swords is something that comes to an abrupt or painful ending. Something that has to end or something that ends. And this is like wanting to end this yearning feeling. Wanting to go towards something to end this like yearning feeling that you feel. Why is the Eight of Cups here? Judgment. I think you're really afraid of someone else's judgment on you, like the judgment call being made. You may be really afraid of competition. So even if this is like in a work environment, you're afraid the other person's going to get what it is that you really want. This is a love situation. You're afraid that someone else is going to come in and get what it is that you're yearning for. And you need to make a decision, to make a plan, to stick to it, stick to the plan. I just had the funniest thing in my head. I love this movie, and it always has flashes of this movie. But on Fun with Dick and Jane, they're going in to rob the bank, and there's already a couple that they know in there that's robbing the bank, and the husband gets scared because the cops show up, and the wife's like, stick to the plan, which he doesn't. They get arrested, but yeah, and it's the reason that they mess up like they do is because they weren't prepared. They didn't have a plan really, and they were really nervous. And so this like makes me feel the same kind of energy. This is what you want. You want to make sure that you have a good plan going into this. This is like very methodical too, like something that's well thought out. Yeah, with personal guide here, you may have this like spirit energy over here, this guardian angel that's kind of helping you, like influencing you or guiding you through this. I do feel like that you're the one that's taking the action though. But of course, like I said in the beginning of the intro, you can always see something from a different point of view or perspective. So, okay. What else does pile 1 need to know about this? Tell me more about what the Hierophant is here. Okay, 2 cards just came out weird in the deck. Look, more commitment, working on a commitment, working towards something, working something out. You have the 8 of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles with the Hierophant. This may have to do with work, making a commitment towards work, or this could, I mean, just fit this how wherever this is in your life, somewhere in your life. This is about putting effort, working physically, like working on something, putting in effort on something, and it has to do with a commitment that's here. This is also about working together to figure something out. So, there may be someone else here or others where you're having to kind of make a plan and figure something out together. You making a commitment to do that. I think you're making a decision around this. I think this is something that's going to require, whatever, a lot of work. And I mean, I talked about that over here, but so I think that's why you're making sure that you have a plan. There needs to be a plan. There's something about like an idea or realization that maybe there needs to be some sort of a concrete plan for something to work. Now, the barrier is where the doubt steps into play here. So what is this? What is the Magician in reverse? What is this blockage here with this? Oh, you may not know exactly what that looks like. If this has to do with the plan that you're trying to come up with, you may not know exactly what that plan looks like. You know what the end goal is, but you don't know how exactly to get to that. And that's something that you may be trying to figure out, but you don't feel like you have everything you need in order to figure that out. Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles. You see the potential in this. You see this as being, the Ten of Pentacles is the foundation of everything that you want. You feel very safe. You feel very secure, which pushes me back into that Cancer energy with this new moon. You're searching for that inner security in something. So having a plan is like the number one way, right? Where you feel more secure on approaching something that you're going to be working on moving forward. You just don't know if you have what it takes, really. You don't know if you're going to be able to meet the requirements to get to this Ten of Pentacles here. But you do see the potential in it. You do still yearn for this. This is something that you maybe even desperately want. And it could have just this understanding around your safety, your security, your foundation, what you feel good about or stable with. And that's a feeling that's hard to come by, right? That's something that once you obtain that feeling of, what that feels like or what that is, it's hard to let go of that, Why is the Ten of Swords here with that Knight of Pentacles? The Empress in reverse. There may be someone or something here that did not grow, didn't come together. You have that Ten of Swords, so there's some sort of ending here. So either someone, it's Empress energy, it's Libra and Taurus energy, but either someone or something that you saw a lot of potential and growth and expansion and abundance with. This is the Empress is Venus. It's about, that loving, caring energy. It's the seventh house, which is relationships. So there is this feeling of something that came to an end, or something that you wasn't going anywhere. It's like it wasn't growing, it wasn't going anywhere, it wasn't cultivating in the right way. But this is something that you're still yearning. This is something that you still want. You still want something to, you still see the potential here. You still want something to grow. This is like basically kind of saying, like, if something doesn't work in the this way, then we should redo it in a different way. It's like it's like having a garden outside, and you plant seeds, but something's wrong, like you didn't have the right soil or the right sunlight or whatever, but nothing grows there. But that's okay. You learn from that and you say, I'm not going to give up on my garden altogether just because these seeds didn't plant right. I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo it and try different things, and then we'll see what happens from there. Learning from your mistakes, especially when there's still something here that you really desire. Like, let's just say I really, 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 really wanted that garden. And I'm not going to give up on it just because it didn't work in that first time. We'll try it again. I have had a garden before, and I can tell you do learn a lot every time you grow anything. And you do go back, and it gets better and better, but it is a lot of work, and that's what we see here. This is a lot of effort. But of course it's worth it in the long run, because what does it do? It feeds you, just like the Ten of Pentacles. It nourishes you. It gives you, you're able to provide what it is that, or you invest into the garden, and it will invest back into you, but it takes a lot of effort. Why is the Judgment here? Scorpio energy. Two of Wands in reverse. You fear rejection here. And there's my son. Yes?
I with my $20.
Who gave you $20?
You met boy Pat's Friday.
You weren't even here Friday. You're with Dad.
Yeah, and I still got my money, right?
Well, you didn't do any chores if you weren't here.
Can I do chores right now?
You can do them when I get done with this, okay?
Okay, but that means I didn't.
Sure, you can have your allowance.
I only spent it.
Don't spend it all in one place.
I just spent it on Roba, but it paid 21 points.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Because
I guess.
I weighed $20 over Roba. They'll give me 2,000 Robux.
Okay, well, congrats. It's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. You don't get it back.
Okay, but then how I tied the TV, man.
Okay, I'm working. Okay, love you. Sorry, guys. That whole conversation might have to do something with your reading, though. Yeah. This may be what you're afraid of, what I just said to him. When it's gone, you don't get it back. This may be this is a fear. The Two of Wands in reverse is literally being afraid of making a choice, being afraid of the future, being afraid of that plan, that's back here that you need to make. This is the blockage. It's so difficult because it requires a lot out of you. I think that you're afraid of someone else's judgment call on you. I think that you're afraid of that plan not working out, and someone choosing someone else or choosing a different direction here. But the thing is that, the Two of Wands, it's about making a choice, a big choice in life. It's like being at a crossroads and saying, I can either go this direction or I can go this direction. And both of them are going to lead to completely different places. But you have to make that choice. Like, you have to make a choice anyways. So why not choose the thing that you yearn for, right? Because when we don't make the choices and we're not confident in ourselves, then we procrastinate. When we procrastinate, sometimes either a tower moment happens and something happens for us, or we lose the opportunity. And, this is like you holding yourself back from the opportunity. The Nine of Cups, the opportunity for the Nine of Cups, which is happiness. You go from the 8 to the 9 there. So needing to emotionally detach from the fear that you have of being rejected so that you can move towards your Nine of Cups is what this whole reading is about. So what should you know here that you don't see? Give me something that pile 1 needs to know that they don't see about this situation. Something that pile 1 should know that they don't see about the situation. You have the Six of Swords and the Four of Cups in reverse. Tell me about what the Six of Swords is. There's the Tower in reverse. The Four of Cups. The Eight of Swords. Here's that Scorpio energy again. Who is this pertaining to here? Who's this? The Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Queen of Pentacles and the Empress are very close energies. They're, to me, the Queen of Pentacles is the closest to the Empress because she's very like secure and stable. She has everything that she needs. She's confident in herself. She's capable. She's able. She's a provider, you know. So what do you need to know that you don't see? So it either has something to do with this person. This could be a spouse, a significant other, a boss, a mother, whoever this is to you, or this could be even your energy, okay? But what you're not seeing here is the Tower in reverse with that Six of Swords is basically someone that is avoiding a chaotic situation, like someone that is, you know, the Six of Swords is like you go from the conflict to the Six of Swords. So it's like you jump in your boat and you get the heck out of Dodge because that conflict that occurred, you know. But here, the Six of Swords is with that Tower in reverse. So this is like basically either picking up the pieces from that Five of Swords that occurred, the conflict that occurred. It's like picking up the pieces from something and transitioning or moving into a different direction. But this is right here is being stuck in your head. So I feel like there's someone here that tried to avoid a tower moment, or tried to maybe get out of their own head or get out of their own way. But the thing is here is that this is someone that was, so if this could be you, right? But it's someone that is very aware that they were keeping themselves kind of stuck in their own head, or they're in this energy now. This could be someone that's kind of trying to work through this. I'm just going to put this into context. So if this is like a boss, this would be like somebody that is trying to decide how they're going to transition or move forward. They don't want to create any sort of chaos. Or if this is something that's already happened, they're trying to figure out the best way to move forward, but they're very much so aware that they're in their head about it. So if they're like choosing you or there's competition or something like that here, this would be like a boss that's trying to decide what's the best route to take, but they're in their head about what that is. If this is a love situation, this is someone that's in their head about, how to, they're very aware though that they are in this Eight of Swords. So, yeah, the Two of Pentacles. This is someone that's in a position to making a choice. So it's the same scenarios that I've said. This is also someone that's trying to prioritize themselves or focus on getting out of their head here about this move or this transition. How's this person, if this is someone else, if this is you, this is like you keeping yourself stuck from being able to transition or move forward because you're afraid of the Tower, the change. You're afraid of what's changed. The Devil in reverse just showed itself to me, which is Capricorn energy. And the Seven of Cups. This is needing to release the fear. You know, it's funny because half of what we fear is all illusions. Most all of it is all illusions, all of it. They're not even, some things aren't even practical, what we fear. It's all just make believe. Yeah, the Three of Swords. And you may be very afraid of rejection or getting your heart broke here. The Sun is in reverse. You are afraid so much of disappointment. Okay, with that being said, let's not hinder on that anymore and let's get some advice. What am I going to do that with? I hadn't even thought it through. We need to ask questions, so we're going to ask a question to close your reading out. But I also completely rearranged my desk and my room and everything. That's the way I deal with things, I guess, as I change everything. So yeah, I've changed my whole setup, my whole room, even painted a little bit. It's all different in here. That's the thing here with this is if something doesn't work with you the first time, if you still fear, yeah. If you still feel this yearning in your heart or you're in your soul, like this is a calling or a destiny in some way, then, don't be afraid of that. Just because something didn't work out the first time doesn't mean it can't work out the second time around. Yeah. I mean, I know people that have been married and then they got divorced and then years later they remarried and it's like a whole different situation, like a whole different idea of things. It's like the whole different way of doing things. It's crazy. But they both went their separate ways. They learned different lessons, or experienced certain things and they come back together. So, I mean, it's just like, let's just say you already had a plan, you already had something set into motion. You already were moving a certain way with something, and you were feeling good about it. But then things start to go downhill, and before you know it, you're picking up all the pieces of what's left, and you're like, what happened? That doesn't mean that you just give up on everything altogether or life. You just pick up the pieces and you either try again or you try something different. What advice do you have for pile 1? Care. I love the teddy bear. Look, that's coming in here again with this personal guide. You may have someone around you that's giving you some sort of advice, or this is like a spirit that's kind of like pushing you into a direction, kind of leading the way, because you have this care here: teach, accompany, assist, and support. What advice do you have? Sunset. Decline, fade, and aging. That means like something's running out of time. Yeah. I mean, if you're stuck on whether or not to do something or you're making a decision, yeah, there's a wake-up call here, guys. You need to make a choice because you may be running out of time. Life might be passing you by while you're in this process of whether or not you should, what decision you should make. With this caring energy here, needing to, you may be feeling very vulnerable in this, like very vulnerable. You have gratitude at the bottom there, which is a card of appreciation and thank you and cherish. this is what I'm talking about. This is like, if something doesn't, if you want something, if you don't go after it, it will just pass you by, and then later you'll be thinking, man, I should have, what if I would have done that? What if things been differently? Because you'll still always have like that craving, for like wonder what would have happened. Because you let fear like take over. But if you go after the things that you're yearning for, that your soul's calling, all those things, and you say, you know what, I may completely, bust my butt here. I may look like a fool here, or I may get my heart broken, but I need to make sure. I need to see, because I definitely don't want to be having regrets later on or thinking, what if. And at the end of it, if it doesn't work out in the way that you want it to, what do? You just say, okay, thank you. Thank you for the experience. Okay, thank you. Now I know which direction to go in. Sometimes you need someone to help with their input, yes or no. And then you know which direction to go. What's the future hold here for confusion? It says the present is clouded with the future uncertain. More information is needed for clarity. Anything else that Pile 1 needs to know? Crossroads, yeah. You're at a crossroads here. You need to make a decision. There is an indecision. Someone needs to make a choice here. Balance. In order to bring balance to the situation, you're going to have to make some sort of a choice. Something is not equal give and take. Focus on balancing yourself. We saw that earlier too, so there may be something here where it requires a lot of effort in order to balance something out. When we talked about you deciding whether or not this is something that you feel like you can put energy into. Okay, let's get a card. This is a question you should ask yourself, Paul 1, moving forward. Ooh, you got 2. 1 fell on the floor. Am I focusing more on what my life looks like than on what it feels like? Yeah, okay. So are you more worried about what other people think versus what you're actually feeling? Like, where is your mindset there with that? What is the worst that could happen if I let go of things that no longer serve me? So if there's, especially fear, if there's fear or whatever else is here, where there's things here that no longer serve you, what's the worst that can happen if you let go of those things? Think about that. If you're having to make some kind of sacrifice here in order to put in effort, and you're having to let go of certain things, what are those sacrifices? What are you actually letting go of? Really? Like, think about that. What are those things that you're letting go of? How do they really serve you? What's important to you with that, right? Bottom of the deck says, who am I? Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Let's get a postcard from Spirit to close. Actually, before we do that, I have to grab one of these because I feel like this is calling me. I don't know why. I haven't used these in forever, but it's the affirmators. They're kind of funny. Okay, 2 of them came out. Look what it says. Look what it says. Follow your heart. I'm always rewarded when I follow my heart. I trust that the GPS in my heart knows all the best routes. And when it seems like it's taking too long to get to where I want, I know that's because there's some cool, weird stuff to see along the way. See how the heart has its umbrella? Like, he's riding the wave. He's ready for anything, And then you have divine timing. Everything is timing, and timing is everything. Gladly, I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing, and if it takes a long time to reach divine middle manage, wait, what? It can take a long time to reach divine mental management. Okay. So time is really relevant here. And I said that earlier in your reading, like eventually running out of time. See how he's thumping the timer? And it's like time maybe is just really relevant to you completely. That may be like part of this here of putting effort into things and the time and effort you put into things. Yeah. But do you see how he's like flinging the timer? It's like, let's move it along. Time to move it along. It's like spirits here like, okay, we really need you to make some kind of choice here because, life will pass you by. Wow, that flew out weird. Okay, look, it's the divine masculine here with the stag. So stepping into your power is here. You are beauty. Dearest you, the common saying, be in the world but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refers to the need to engage with life while not being attracted to a specific outcome. Yep, this is what we're talking about here. Do not take this world too personally, for you are one of many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how all things should play out. Just know that the outcome doesn't matter as much as the presence that you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life, like the heart. There's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So will you wear your world loosely, or will you let it straitjacket you? It's your choice. This is what I'm talking about. You have a choice right now. You have free will. You have a choice right now. But life will pass you by to where the choice is taken from you if you don't make the choice. So don't allow fear to keep you stuck from being able to go after what it is that you really want. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. You get back up, you do something else. Okay. It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you're meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan, which I think is awesome because we started with planning as your card. And I think that's what they're saying here is that you can only plan for so much, and then you have to take the leap. You have to make the choice, take the direction. You can only plan for so much. And then you have to leave everything else up to spirit, to higher source, and have faith. Okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do this. And then whatever happens, happens, Okay, so let's get some initials to close. Okay, and happy birthday to my fellow Cancers out there. All right, we're just going to leave it at that. That's short and sweet. Life is tough, but so are you. There you go. Be kind. Loving is easy. I heard, but we have to make it so hard in my head. Loving is easy, but we have to make it so hard. SEQJAR and G. C is here, out to sea. Gear is there too. Get out to sea. Get your gears going. I was gonna say too. It's funny how we wait so long to make a choice because we're afraid of it, or getting our heart broke, or we're afraid of rejection, or whatever. But it's crazy that if we let life pass us by and we don't make a choice and life makes it for us, then the pain that we feel from that later on down the line when we start thinking about shoulda, coulda, woulda, or, having that in your heart where you could have done something but you didn't, or you should have went after it but you didn't, or whatever. That pain hits a little bit different than it does whenever you do follow your heart and get turned away, That's something that you can heal from, learn from, and say, okay, well then this wasn't for me. But the other thing and the iffy feeling, you know, that's where regrets come in, and that's a whole different kind of pain. Okay. Nope, nope, nope. I'm just going to leave that there because it's giving me a hard time. All right, guys, there you go. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Hey, Paul 2. So if y'all chose first quarter moon in Pisces, honor your feelings. Okay. So I'm going to read to y'all what the manifestation is in this for this card. It says the manifestation mix is, as admirable as it is to live a cheerful and happy-go-lucky life, this card suggests that you need to make sure that you're not ignoring your emotions. You are being asked to feel all your emotions, all your feelings. Make light of your emotions now isn't recommended. Remember, we create our own emotions. So, I'm going to read to y'all this other part because I feel like it's important. So, are you putting on a good front and acting like you're bright and breezy, but hiding your real feelings? Rather than acting through everything, acting though as everything is fine, if you're worried about certain issues, it's best to deal with them. Avoid getting wrapped up in your feelings that you overwhelm yourself and everyone else involved in the situation. If you deny your feelings, you'll go nowhere fast with your manifesting. Look at the big picture and use your intuition. Avoid blowing an upset out of proportion. So needing to really tune into your emotions and how you're feeling and not be dismissive of that so that it doesn't turn into a bigger issue later is something that is obviously here. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to put this over here, and then I'm going to pull a spirit message oracle to see where we're kind of going with this. And then we'll get some oracles for overall picture, then we'll get some tarot, then we'll get some advice and some initials. Okay, so what does Paul 2 need to know when it comes to this new moon in Cancer? What does Paul 2 need to know when it comes to the new moon here in Cancer? You have number 15, Archangel Hanuel, I think is how you say that. Joy, blessings, and intuition. So what's funny about this is with joy, blessings, and intuition, number 15 is actually the devil in tarot. So there may be this obsessive energy, like that card says, around, okay, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to, be thankful for what I have. I'm going to be happy for what I have. I'm going to lean in towards this positive energy like she is there. And, she's holding this nest egg up. She's like, oh my gosh, look at the look at the chicks. And you think that chick's like, would you put us down? Like there's still some eggs here that need to hatch. You're gonna drop one. It's this emphasis on being happy. It's almost like a fake it until you make it, but that doesn't work when you have emotions here that you need to honor. So Archangel Hanuel, you may look that up because I'm not really sure about that. Let me see if I can look that up actually. Can you tell me about Archangel Hanuel? Nope, it won't let me. Archangel Hanuel. I don't think I'm saying that exactly right. Let's see. Let's see if it says anything. Okay, while I'm waiting, I'm going to shuffle y'all's oracles. Now these are the, oh, there it is. Okay. Intuition and physical abilities. Hanuel helps awaken and strengthen your intuition and clairvoyancy. especially during the moon phases, like the new moon or the full moon, which is this is the first quarter moon, but she's often called, that's her. She's often called upon by those seeking deeper spiritual awareness or guidance. So it's like you're needing to, like, you're going right into needing to find the deeper meaning or spiritual, like, meaning behind something that has caused you a lot of emotion, and you're not, like, really, like, paying attention to how you actually feel. Okay. So she supports emotional healing, especially for those who are highly sensitive or empathic. If you feel overwhelmed by your emotions or others, she helps you restore calm and peace. So this talks a lot about divine feminine energy. It also says she's closely linked to the moon and its cycles, embodying the divine feminine. She is a beautiful guide for rituals, spiritual practices, and journaling during the new moon. So I think that that's important here. I think that maybe you should do some journaling here, if that's your thing, for the new moon. It may help you to honor the feelings that you feel if you're having a hard time honoring them. And I totally get that. Like, you get stuck in, like, you don't want to, like, listen to music because you hear sad songs and it makes you cry. And it's like, I'm just tired of being in this, like, state of emotion. And so, you try to do things, be around other people and do things and stuff, which you should be, but you should also still honor those emotions. So not being obsessed in it like the devil, but allowing time out of the day to understand how you feel about a situation that you have a lot of emotions about. So, like, setting time aside to journal and, like, work through the way that you feel, I think would be really important, because it keeps you from those feelings coming out in other situations. Okay. So what does pile 2 need to know about the new moon? What can they expect with this new moon? We have celebration here, so maybe having some, others of y'all may be having some partying, birthdays. We have home here, celebration, home. We have barrier. And we have desire. We have messages at the bottom. That's the card that came out in actually pile 1. Okay. So what is this new moon bringing here? I think that you are, and the devil's here. I would be surprised if the devil doesn't come out in the tarot, which I'm going to start shuffling, which is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Yeah. There's something here I feel like that you really desire, you really want. And it may have to do with something that makes you feel at home, a sense of home or sense of peace. You have this celebration energy that's here too, which is what we talked about before with, like, filling yourself up full of joy and celebrating and all that. Keeping yourself stuck is something that's here, and I can't figure out why. So let's get the tarot. Because home to me is just like, yeah, I mean, it's okay to do this, but remember to do. Celebrating your peace is something that's here, and I can't figure out why that is. Like, this could also be like protecting your peace. When I talked about your emotions and, like, putting your emotions back and how that can come out in other ways, and this is like in order to protect yourself from that happening or protect your own peace, honoring your emotions that are here. What's this new moon bringing? There's something that's here you feel stuck about, and it has to do with a desire that you have. It's like you're stuck on it, or you feel stuck about it in some kind of way. So let's see what this has to do with. Why is celebration here? You feel restricted from being able to obtain whatever this is, or you feel like you may be restricting yourself, Tell me about celebration. Look, there's balloons and a cake here. You have a 6 of Cups with celebration. Do you see what I mean here? Like, see how big she is, and she's blue, like emotions. And then you have all these people here, her loved ones. She's like just looking at them in a way where they're the ones that are celebrating, and she's just looking at them, and it's like not being able to really be fully there and appreciate something. The 6 of Cups is always soulmate energy too. So the way I'm seeing it in this card is having others around you, Why is home here? The Ace of Cups in the reverse. This feels like when you go out and you have a good time, but then you come home at the end of the night and it's like there's not there's not anybody there, or it's just quiet, like it's totally two different atmospheres. The Ace of Cups in reverse is about loving yourself, giving that love back to yourself with this home energy. To me, this is like needing to take care of yourself. For some of you, there may have been a relationship here with this Ace of Cups in reverse, like a lost opportunity to have this stability here with home, or peace, or sense of comfort. Why is the barrier here? Yeah, look at that, 2 of Cups as I say that. So there may be a relationship here that either you're restricting yourself from, or you feel like there's a barrier going on between the two of you. Like this feels like the one place that you really want to be able to feel this joy and blessings. You can't, because there's some kind of a barrier when it comes to you and someone else. Or you're restricting yourself from something. What is desire here? Yeah, there it is. Temperance in reverse. This is where the frustration comes in with desire. This is where you're holding back. This is where you're holding back. Temperance in reverse is like, you have a desire for compromise or balance, but you're frustrated because you're not getting that. You're not getting that balance that you want. And this could be between work and play, but it's like because you feel restricted when it comes to a connection or a relationship. Okay. Why is the 6 of Cups here with celebration? Justice. We'll come back to that in just a second. Why is the Ace of Cups in reverse? The 10 of Swords. Oh, this is painful. This could be a relationship that came to an end with the Ace of Cups in reverse, 10 of Swords, with home being there. And this could just be like you don't feel the same. You don't feel loved, or you don't feel appreciated, or you don't feel cherished in some way when it comes to the home, when it comes to the people around you or the things around you, you don't feel as cherished. This kind of looks like when you feel like she is here, with celebration. It's like holding that in, holding these feelings of not feeling appreciated or cherished in some way, like holding those feelings in and it hurting you. But you're not fully addressing them and you're needing to. Because that right there is something that can ball into a resentment, which is here with you start to get frustrated because you crave or you want that appreciation that you're not getting. And you may be someone that celebration in Six of Cups with justice. You may be someone that does a lot for others with that Six of Cups that's there. And in a way, you kind of expect the same treatment, but you may not get that same treatment. And this could be from someone here too with the Two of Cups. It's like you're happy to have memories. Like the Six of Cups is about memories. It's about memories, good memories. It's about reconciliation or reunion, coming together. It's all that. It's about all these memories that you have. And so it's like you feel justice with that. You feel fairness with that. Like, I have all these memories that I have that I can celebrate. Or making memories here as well. But then you have this home energy where when it comes to your own sense of emotions or feelings, you don't feel loved or you don't feel appreciated. And it could be from some sort of ending here. Okay, why is the Two of Cups here? Or some sort of betrayal. I think the betrayal is that you don't feel like you get what you give, which is strange because I've been, I don't know if I've posted it yet, but I just got done doing making something for that, the unseen wound, it's really interesting. I've been looking up on it, but the Four of Cups in the reverse is basically like what I just said, the unseen kind of wound. This is self-awareness. So, like I'm telling you right now, like I know that's something that I have, like in me, that I carry as far as my trauma goes, and studying about how that affects me in life. I'm becoming more self-aware about how that affects me in life and those emotions that I hold from it, which is very similar to your reading. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't mine, especially with the birthday cake and balloons there. Why is the Two of Cups here with the barrier? The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. That's a lack of effort. That's a lack of ability to work on something. You may be taking a break here from someone, taking a step back. It's like you could be just breaking something off or not putting as much effort into. This is something that is hurting you, right? When you're naturally someone that is loving and wants to support and wants to be there and wants to give and give and give, you're a natural giver. When you have self-awareness that maybe you're over-giving or you're not receiving as much as you're putting out there, and that's starting to affect you emotionally, you pull back yourself because you have self-awareness and you know that this is eventually going to end up hurting you because it's not balanced here. It's not justified. It's not balanced here. It's not fair. So you pull back to restrict yourself, even though, you don't want to, because something's not fair or balanced. It's a very difficult emotion to feel because you desire something that is not giving to you in the way that you need, and so you're doing what you have to do for yourself. And when you start doing things that you need to do for yourself because you know that like a situation isn't giving to you in the right way, it's not fair or it's not balanced there, so you need to like pull yourself back. But you are someone that's a giver. It's so hard to do because in your heart you desire compromise. You desire balance. You desire, you know, the ability to figure something out or come together. But you're making yourself, you're restricting yourself from that until either something happens or you just have to, you know, move on from it. It's like taking yourself out of a bad situation because you know it's not going in a good direction. Having to walk away or having to do things for yourself is so much more difficult. But you need to make sure that you're honoring the feelings that you feel, you know, especially if this is something that where, you know, someone else has the inability to put in the effort that you need, or they just simply don't want to, and that the frustration behind that, that's building up here, this is the emotion that you're needing to address, which can be anger, you know, temperance in reverse, because you have a desire here and you're not, the goal that you have in mind or the desire that you have in mind is not playing out, and that's frustrating, you know. This can be like, let's just say you're married, okay? And you tell your spouse, like, okay, the dishes are just getting completely out of control. I'm going to need some help with the dishes. And you say, everybody needs to, you know, wash their own dish in the sink. That would be great. And just wash it real quick and put it up. And time again, you find yourself doing everyone's dishes. And you keep doing everyone's dishes. And you keep telling them, okay, I need y'all to put in some effort here. I'm starting to get a little irritated. I'm starting to get a little upset because it's not, I'm picking up all the slack here. I need y'all to help me out. I've been asking, you know. And at some point, you're just like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything, but I'm not going to wash anybody's dishes either anymore. I feel like y'all are running over me. And so you just let them build up. And then they start getting upset. You're like, why do we not have any silverware? Well, can y'all tell I've experienced this before? It's that kind of thing. This is what we're here. This is what we're seeing here. Yeah. And this can be like wanting to try to focus on the other things in your life, the other areas in your life where you do have blessings. Maybe these are your family, your friends, your loved ones, you know, where you have something to celebrate and to get your mind off of being frustrated with this. It's just like the dishes things. It's like, can y'all not just appreciate the fact that I keep washing your dishes for y'all? Like, I haven't even gotten a thank you or anything. Like, you know, feeling so unappreciated, like no one's listening to you. You feel unseen. So temperance in reverse, the Three of Pentacles. That's, this is about work, putting in work, putting in effort, wanting others to help. The Three of Pentacles is, okay, we all come together and we do this task, then all of our lives will be easier. But we all have to put in a certain amount of effort to get these damn dishes clean. Okay? It's this kind of thing here with these. You have others here that you're working together to build something. But temperance is in reverse, saying, like, there's no compromise that's here, or it's not coming together in the way that you want. Maybe you were hoping, you know, like I was with the dishes. Maybe you were hoping for someone to step in and put in the work or put in the effort, and they're not. And so you're getting frustrated. You're frustrated here. Maybe this is something that was already passed. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, because something didn't, it's not, maybe you've been waiting for something. She's holding a clock in her hand. See the gears, get the gears going, and the heart's involved, the heart's in there. You may have been waiting for a second chance or waiting for something to turn around. about that Ten of Swords. The Seven of Wands. Look at that. The barrier here. Breaking through the barrier. The Seven of Wands is about putting up a fight. It feels like maybe you were hoping for something to fight for you or to put in effort. The Seven of Wands, this can be like a very defensive energy. So this can be someone that, you know, tried to break through what your boundaries are, like setting very like strong boundaries about what's acceptable or right for you and what's not. And this may be someone that was very defensive about the boundaries that you were setting and trying to break through that, or being very defensive. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. This has to do with the equal give and take. So somebody was given more than they were receiving. I mean, that's what this whole thing is about. I've been talking about. That's what the Six of Pentacles is there for. You have King of Cups here. Scorpio energy. Why is the Seven of Wands here? The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is when someone got very defensive here with you. For some of y'all, I feel like this is your spouse and y'all got into it. I do. I feel that way. The King of Cups can look like the husband or the father, you know. The one that's like they have emotions, you know, they're emotionally, their emotions are there for a reason. So, you know, they're a husband, so they're provider. They're a father, so they're the provider. They're meant to be that support, right? But there was not an equal give and take here on that. So you may have felt like you were giving more support than you were getting. Someone was very defensive about this. But this Knight of Pentacles in reverse can look like somebody like going their own direction, or, you know, being defensive about how slow they're moving or how they're doing things. Hold on. Queen of Pentacles in reverse with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. There's this defensive back and forth energy that's here, where there's a lack of compromise. For some of y'all, if y'all are married to this person, this could have to do with a child, something to do with a child, where someone was trying to like break through your boundaries with something, break down your boundaries with something. But for others of you, this is like you won't do this, then I won't do this. There's no compromise here. There's no equal give and take. And then I'll pull back my energy. Queen of Pentacles in reverse is it's the same storyline that I keep saying, but it's just showing it to me. It's an unfortunate thing with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. King of Pentacles in reverse. It's an inability for someone to live up to an expectation, or to an inability for someone to step up, or King of Pentacles here. This can be somebody that's very stubborn with the Lovers in reverse. This is where someone doesn't align with you, doesn't meet your expectations, doesn't, you don't feel like the two of you are on the same page anymore. You know, this is someone that you feel was unfortunate that this person is this King of Pentacles in reverse. So at some point, or even now, depending on your situation, this is someone that you see in that energy of being able to provide certain things. But when they're in reverse, their ego or their stubbornness or their inability to like feel confident or feel like they have enough for what they need creates that blockage to where you're you're not on the same page. This is like asking something from someone that they're telling you they can't give to you. I mean, what do you do in that situation if you feel like it's going to be something that hurts you? What is this? What were you wanting from this person? Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You wanted an opportunity to have something solid here with this person. You were hoping for some sort of groundedness. Maybe this was a commitment that they promised you. Maybe this was just like a solid start with someone, you know? What were they wanting with the Six of Pentacles in reverse? The Moon. Why the Moon? I think this person was wanting to keep you confused, to keep you stuck on something. Why? I don't understand that. What were they wanting? I don't think that they knew what they wanted. Or they don't know what they want from something. The Sun. There's divine feminine and masculine energy, but they're, you know, the Sun's in reverse. That's the masculine energy in reverse. This is someone that didn't know what they wanted. They tried to keep you kind of stuck on something, so they may have promised you things they couldn't keep. The Sun in reverse is like you can't see something clearly, and the Moon is illusions and fear. So I don't understand why were they here then? It doesn't make sense. The Chariot in reverse and the Ten of Pentacles. If you're with this person, this is someone that's here because you have this foundation with them, and they still see this stability with you and this foundation with you. But it's almost like they want you to depend on them. But if you're not, be careful, because I feel like that this is someone that just wanted you to depend on them in some way. Not to say that they didn't love and care about you, but this is definitely someone that I don't feel like that they had the best of intentions as far as whatever it was that they were promising you here. I think they may have just been telling you what you wanted to hear. To see what they wanted as the Moon, they may have been just keeping you confused or keeping you stuck in that place of confusion until they decided exactly what it was that they wanted. And they may have not have been completely clear about that. They do see the potential here, but I think this is someone that may keep you as like someone that they can depend on. Like, if you need them, then they can depend on you to be there. This just got weird. What time? What's the timing here? 33 minutes. What should they know about whoever's here, this person? And then we'll get back into your emotions, because this reading is supposed to be about the new moon, what you need to know in order to kind of move towards the new moon. And it has to do with honoring your feelings in the situation. And I think that if you did take a step back, like I said, you definitely did honor your feelings of how you felt. And I think that that's a good thing. And you should be respecting yourself for that, even though it's difficult. Okay, the Five of Swords. What should Paul to know about this person? The Strength in reverse. The Queen of Swords. Just what I said. I think that you did the right thing here if that's the case. I don't think this person is in the best place. I don't think you would have gotten anywhere with this person anyways. I'm just going to be honest. That Five of Swords is a betrayal. The Strength in reverse is like somebody that's not strong enough. And the Queen of Swords is someone that knows it. So even if this was a conversation, like if this is a spouse, this is like a conversation that you would have with your spouse. This is basically saying, like, you pulled back your energy. You knew, like, they had had enough, or they weren't in a position mentally or whatever to be able to give you what you needed. And that was a compromise on your part, especially if you're married. We compromise a lot when we're married. If you want to stay married, you recognize when the other person's in a particular energy, and you kind of take a step back. But if this is something new, this may have been someone that it's kind of like they want to keep you in a particular type of feeling to where you are kind of relying on them, perhaps maybe emotionally, because this person I don't think feels very confident in the stability, because they're confident in the emotions, the King of Cups, but not the King of Pentacles. So there's something to do with this person's stability where they don't feel like that provider or that support in that way. So the only way to keep you fixated on them is, unfortunately, in a emotional, manipulative kind of feeling, until they figure out what to do or how to do things. So this is someone that tried to keep you like emotionally attached to them, and that may have not been in the best way. So this could be somebody that maybe gave you hot and cold energy, or they promised you a whole lot of things, but then they kind of started to fade out. That's because I don't feel like this person ever had the intentions to upholding any of that. I think they just were trying to keep you confused and reliant on them. Not that they ever wouldn't. It's like they were trying to keep you. They're just trying to keep you, you know? Why is the Five of Swords here for what you need to know about this person? Look at that. That's the King of Pentacles. Now, in this deck, I just now remembered, all these have like kings that are feminine and masculine versions. Now you have the King of Pentacles, and that's the feminine there. So what you should know about this is that you would always be the one that was the King of Pentacles. Like, you would always be playing a position that you didn't really want to be in order to feel fulfilled in this situation. Like, you would have to embody a different way of being in order to be fulfilled here. Why is the Strength in reverse? Queen of Wands in reverse. If this is somebody that you walked away from, there's someone here that has... This is someone that would fall to their own weaknesses pretty easily. I don't feel like you could trust this person. Anyways, I don't feel like you could trust this person anyways. I feel like you would never be fully confident. I feel like you would always feel like that... Yeah. I just don't feel like you'd ever feel confident with this person. Queen of Swords. Queen of Cups. We have almost all the queens and a king and a female king. Queen of Cups with the Queen of Swords. You did the right thing with your emotions here. You read your emotions in the correct way. I don't feel like that this is somebody that you could have trusted anyways. If this is a spouse, I'm not saying you can't trust your spouse. I'm just saying they're maybe in a vulnerable state to where you need to kind of cope with or deal with your emotions to yourself at this time until they get out of this like shadow side, because they are in the shadow side. I feel like if you tried to talk to this person, whatever resentments or whatever it is that they're holding or they have holding over them in some way, they're not in a position to compromise or see any different perspective. And I think that might take some time. So meantime, if that's your story, spend some time, working on these emotions, honoring these emotions that you feel. Let's start getting some advice. If this is someone that you walked away from, this person wasn't good for you. They may have promised you the world, and you may truly love this person. But I think that you recognized in your emotions that this is someone that is not going to honor you or cherish you in the way that you need. And you honored yourself and your emotions by walking away from it. You may have desired for this person to put in effort here or work on things, but this person, I feel like, has their own conflict, and I think there's something to do with them. I honestly feel like that this person tried to make this into a codependent relationship, perhaps, and by perhaps pulling back their energy, they should still have some work to do. That's all. We have Leo there. We have Cancer, Libra, Sagittarius, Capricorn. What advice do you have? You have the Fool at the bottom, so that's a good thing. With the Magician. So you're in a manifestation energy right now. King of Wands is in reverse. You are in a manifestation energy at this time. What advice do you have? Process and destiny. Look at that cage. What advice do you have? Cooperation. Okay. Bottom of the deck says family. So family may be really important at this time. And maybe you're having to cooperate here because you have family with this person. But this is like basically sometimes what all we can do at the end of the day, especially if you're dealing with somebody else that's not ready or still like in the darkness or in the shadow, or it's just they're just not there altogether. Everybody's has free will. They have their own choices. All you can do is process through taking responsibility for yourself and accepting what is. Yeah. Sorry, I know I paused there for a while. Paused there for a long time, didn't I? We have Aries and sorry, I know I got sidetracked. If this is someone you walked away for, this person was just not capable of giving you what you wanted or what you needed. You didn't feel safe with this person. And I think that you were aware of that and you looked into that and, you didn't like what you saw, I guess. Or you maybe had a conversation and you didn't like what you heard. Definitely don't let this situation, though, keep you stuck. Okay. What should you be asking yourself at this time? How would I want people to remember me when I'm no longer here? Okay, so what memory are you leaving behind? So with family here, this may have to do with, family, spending time with family, not just being on your own or being alone. We have, I am living according to the expectations and dreams of others or of my own. How do I distinguish them from each other? I think that's what happened here. I think that you felt yourself ending up in somebody else's story, and this wasn't the story that you talked about, or the story that was supposed to be created. Okay. Actually, let's get some of these. I want to see what the future holds for you guys moving forward. What does the future hold here moving forward? You know, it's funny in this reading, I feel like you just need somebody to tell you did the right thing. You were honoring your feelings when you felt them, and you made a choice based off of that. You have the wheel of luck, so you may have the wheels turning in your favor. All things are aligned in your favor. Luck is on your side here. So this new moon may bring transformation. A huge breakthrough is happening soon. And then you have hope. Be hopeful, remain positive. It says all is not lost. A positive, favorable outcome is still possible. So for some of you, this might have to do with this person, you know, that's here wanting to come in and nurture the situation. Especially, I would emphasize that on those of you where this is your spouse. I feel like if this is any other situation, then of course, unless you are with, I feel like I'm just speaking to those of you that you're married and there's just been a disagreement, or you just haven't been on the same page, but you're still both committed to the marriage and the relationship. But of course, not everybody's going to fall in that category, right? You may be married and you've been going through it for years and years with the same person, and you finally kind of decided that you needed to take a step back. But I feel like, so for those of you, there may be this reconnection, you know, this positive outcome out of this, where this is someone that wants to nourish the relationship. But for others of you, you may have remaining hopeful here. You may have this, a new love connection awaits. So that could be possible in your future here after this new moon and this new cycle we're going into. And then it says, let's get one of these. Transformation, a huge breakthrough is happening soon. So luck is on your side. You're going to have a huge breakthrough that happens soon. Continue to nourish yourself. Continue to stay focused on being hopeful for your future and possibilities for the future. Let's see if we can get you an affirmator. Well, that came flying out. Peacefulness. Peacefulness. I have a peaceful, golly, why not? I gotta throw one out there I can't say. Tranquil and untroubled heart. This is where I choose to spend my time. I can bring guests, but any person, thought, or event that brings drama or chaos is not invited. My heart is special property, and I'm going to keep it that way so that we can all keep enjoying it, and I can get my security deposit back. That fits in your reading so well. So if you have been someone that you felt unseen, unappreciated, like you were been like giving and giving and giving in something that it barely gives back to you, you know, you're validated in those emotions and those feelings. And it's also a lesson behind your own peace and allowing situations not to bring you drama or chaos, or definitely not to, you know, trample your heart in a way to where you won't ever open it up again. You just have to learn how to put some restrictions up around relationships and what you will and won't allow, what you know is right and wrong for you, to lead you towards the people that honor you, respect you, and will be there for you. Okay. Give me advice, please, to leave pile 2 with. I love the way these cards pop out. Okay, so you have, you are not alone. No, you're not. Dearest you, there are times that you get lost but refuse to see the part in things. Happens to everyone. Something feels familiar but sort of off. If you're feeling confused, it's best that you throw away the map that you're using, which only lets you navigate based off of your past experiences. That isn't what you need right now. Instead, take a deep breath and open to the truth. A desire to stay in the denial means that a part of you doesn't want the responsibility for the pattern that shows up in your life. Yes, this is the right time to wake up and start again. By the way, you'll always get another chance. You have unlimited chances to start again. Yeah, some of y'all may be like, with this relationship here, some of y'all may be completely starting over, and it's being like nervous or worried about that. And those feelings are validated, Of course, if you've experienced something where you've given your heart away and didn't get much back in return, especially when you fight for somebody, that's like the worst. Like when you're always like that person for everyone else, you're always there for everyone else, or someone in particular, you're always that person for for them. But then when you have something where you're needing a friend, like they're just never there for you, definitely put some boundaries up with that. It really slides into someone using you, you start to feel used, and that's a horrible feeling. It says, we love you so much, we really do. Be gentle with yourself. Coming out of denial is like being temporarily blinded by super bright lights. Allow your eyes to adjust. Carry on, special one. A beautiful life awaits. Loving you so, so much. So there's definitely feel like something here for a lot of you where you felt unappreciated. And you're right in that, and honoring those feelings and doing what you're supposed to do according to how you felt. Yeah. Lesson learned. Going into a new phase. Don't let it shatter your heart, but just allow you to understand your heart better. And you should be thankful, your heart's thanking you that you protected it from more hurt or pain. Okay. You are worth it. Yeah, this may have not made you feel very good, like made you not feel worthy. Just let me adore you. So if there's other people around you that want to give to you, want to do things for you, and you're somebody that has a hard time with that, like you're the giver, but you have a hard time receiving, allow yourself to be adored. Allow yourself to have that come back on you. You can't complain about something, and then whenever somebody gets to give back to you, then you don't take it. So you have to make sure, with family, friends, people around us that love and care about us, make sure that we're allowing ourselves to receive from them as well. You have the new beginning here. You may have some kind of a special gift or treat with the candy. Okay, we have E-N-D. There's end right there. We have C-R-T-Y-X. M or W, we have cry right there, and R, another R. Okay, guys. I have to be honest, I do feel like that y'all went through a big disappointment. If you haven't yet, I feel like that's something that you may experience soon. Maybe you were holding off for something, and those expectations kind of lead to disappointment. This can be a W as well. But just so you know, if that's the case and you haven't been there yet, this is something that you will overcome, and you will get through this. Luck is on your side. Things are going to be changing for you. You have to just remain hopeful that there will be a positive outcome for you. And some of you may have a new love potential that awaits. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you here. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, Paul 3. So if you chose last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. Okay, so I'm going to read to you what this says about the manifestation of this card, and then we'll go into some different oracles. What's happening for you right now can work out well, but you need to find balance between the light and the dark of the situation. Get in touch with some lighter and happier feelings to clear away any energetic debris that may have grown out of your fears. That said, this isn't about glossing over any dreams, and pretending as is well, all is well when it isn't. A positive attitude towards life now will help clear any upsets. So the manifestation mix is two very strong energies are at play here. All the things that you fear and your very vitality. And then drawing this card suggests that you need to lighten up a little. Happy manifestations come from happy place. Make a list of your blessings. Okay, so rose quartz is really important here. If that's something that you're interested in to help you in this lighting up energy, needing to light up. Actually, these rose quartz look kind of like similar to mine that I have over here, which was a gift from my cousin, actually. Means something to somebody. Okay, so with that being said, I feel like that this is something here obviously pertaining to where you need to lighten up about a situation so that you can have it play out in the way that you desire. So let's see what, I'm going to pull a spirit message oracle as well. We'll see what comes from this, and then we'll get some of the moon moth goddess once upon a dream oracles to get into deeper in your reading. Okay. So for pile 3, what do they need to know about this new moon? Okay. Number 43, your eternal spirit. Higher self and sacred intuition. Number 43. 43. So being secure in yourself and growing from that to fall into alignment of where you are. I mean, I think that a lot of you're in a particular place to where maybe you have some kind of opportunity coming your way and you're having to assure yourself that it is aligned with you and that you're ready for it and overcome those fears and kind of leave those behind. Lighten up about the situation. So it's like something that doesn't have to be so serious, you know. It's something that is maybe a serious thing, but if you only are looking at it in a logical way and you're not allowing yourself any kind of emotion, then you can get stuck into that way of thinking to where you forget why you desired it in the first place. You forget those emotions. You know, you can't be stuck in just logic because emotions are the best part of life. You know, it's where we the feelings that we feel, especially the good feelings that we feel, are the best way to manifest. We can't manifest from logic. We can't manifest from feeling upset. I mean, we can from certain things, but we want to manifest from a good place. And that is about how you feel. You know, when you listen to a meditation, like any kind of guided meditation, and I'm saying that, I guess, because of this card and the way she's in this meditation energy with higher self, sacred intuition, you will, you know, they'll always say to pay attention to your emotions. How does the manifestation that you want, the goal that you're looking at, how does that actually make you feel, you know? Because that feeling, that desire and that positivity and everything is, you have to feel it to believe it. You know, you have to be able to feel all that energy in order for it to really play out. That's how you really manifest, through feelings. Okay. And then you can logically like make sense of it as you go, you know, of course, the plan. But believing in yourself is a big part of it, you know, believing in yourself. But lightening up. Lighten up. It doesn't have to be so serious. Enjoy it. Okay. Tell me more about, one more shuffle, guys. This is a very slippery deck on my table. Okay. Tell me about pile 3. Tell me about pile 3. What is this lighten up energy? What is this new moon bringing pile 3? Okay. We have determined and helpless. What is this new moon bringing for pile 3? We have heartbreak. This new moon bringing pile 3. And we have wisdom. We have overwhelmed at the bottom as I take that big deep breath. Okay. So this new moon, I'm going to be honest with what I'm saying, okay? There's something that's here that you may get information about that may be like a hard thing to hear, or a hard thing to discover, or a hard thing to cope with. You may feel somewhat helpless here in this even, but this is something I feel like that's completely out of your control. I feel like that this may be something that you were determined about to begin with, but I think that it leads to a place to where you feel helpless. You don't feel like that there's anything that you can do about this, whatever this is. You're kind of going through this pain from it, or this heartbreak from it. But this is kind of insinuating to you have an opportunity here, okay? And I know I hate giving messages like this, especially like in the middle of it, which I feel like some of y'all are, because it's so hard for like being in the middle of something that's difficult. You feel like you don't have any control in that. For someone to say, "Oh, look at the lesson that you're learning here from this," you know. But that's the whole point in this reading, I feel like, is listening to your higher self and then lightening up. I feel like that this is like trying to convince yourself, or listening to your higher self on the fact that this may be something that's here that could actually be beneficial to you. You just may be having a hard time seeing it as that right now, because it may be somewhat heartbreaking. You know, then that card too, it did say to list your blessings. And so when you're in this energy here, look, of grieving and you feel unstable. Yeah. Okay. Maybe some of you felt like you couldn't evolve, something didn't happen, didn't go the way that you wanted it to. You started to feel unstable about it because something wasn't going in your direction, or you actually were unstable in some way. Maybe you were grieving, you were going through this process. Grieving comes from loss, so I think most of you have experienced some sort of a loss, and you just feel overwhelmed, right? But the point is that with Lighten Up, it's kind of saying, yes, it's overwhelming. Yes, it's heartbreaking. Yes, you feel like you don't have control here. The only thing that you can have control in is understanding what you're learning from this experience. And that's a logical way of looking at it right there. If you're wanting to look at it that way, is taking what you've learned from this and then and using it to help you move forward. Being overwhelmed, especially when you're grieving, you can feel like everything is serious. Everything is serious. Have you ever met someone that's like, they're having a hard time in life, right? They're just going through it. You know, they're going through some stuff. And every little thing that doesn't go their way seems like such a big thing because they're already in that dark place. This is kind of what I'm feeling with you guys with this Lighten Up energy. Which is kind of funny because this is the Crow Tarot that I picked to use for y'all. And the Crow Tarot isn't one I use a whole lot of. I got it because I have the Oracle decks from it. But I don't necessarily like these cards because they seem so dark to me. But I kept seeing the crow and I was like, I need to use that deck for y'all. So it's the same kind of thing that I was feeling from your reading about lightening up. Okay. So tell me what this is about for pile 3. What is this about for pile 3? Remaining calm is something that's here too, by the way. What is this about for pile 3? Because there is some significantly heavy, overwhelming, helpless energy that's here. Like, I know we have those cards that say it, but look at their faces. Look at the girls that are on here. I mean, the faces that you can see, all of them are crying, or they have their head in their hands. She's holding her head back. You know, she's trying to be calm here. So there's something that's here that feels very serious, feels very significant. What is this new moon bringing with determined? And this may be you know, being determined to get over this feeling. That's the 8 of Pentacles. So some of you, this could have to do with something that you've been working towards or working on. You were very determined. You put a lot of effort into something. You put a lot of energy into something. Helpless. That's the World. And this may be something that's coming to a close and it's out of your control. This is be part of why you're having such an overwhelming time and grieving, is because you spent a lot of time and effort into something and now it's coming to a close. And there's nothing that you can do about this. Why is heartbeat or heartbreak here? That's the 2 of Pentacles. So this is about, you know, needing to prioritize yourself. You having choices, and you have to make choices, but you're making those choices because you're forced into it. It's not something that you really wanted to have to do. So it's heartbreaking that you have to choose something else, or you have to make another different choice. Needing to prioritize yourself and your well-being is something that's here. Wise wisdom here. It's the 4 of Cups in the reverse, which is awareness. And I was just thinking with that wisdom is being aware of what you've learned here. You know, it's crazy, but I feel like sometimes in our life we have things that we built and we've grown, and they get taken away from us for whatever reason. You know, maybe it's a lesson for us and how we were doing things. But sometimes it's also like Spirit's protection for us that we just can't see because we're not doing what we need to protect ourselves, or we just don't see it coming. There's been a lot of times in my life where I felt helpless in a situation, like I was being pulled away from it, or something that I put a lot of work or effort into didn't play out. But later down the line, I always turn and look and I see why that actually happened. And it all makes sense. You know, it's like, you know, I'm so glad I wasn't there when that happened, because I was so upset, you know, so upset about not working out, but now I get it why it didn't work out, you know. Thank God, you know. It's a situation kind of like this that I'm feeling, where it has to do with maybe your well-being, or, you know, I wanted to say your essential self, whatever that means, that you maybe have tried to been determined to kind of work on or hold up, and now you're at a point where it's just coming to a close and there's nothing that you can do about it. You were determined and you did everything that you possibly could. So yeah, it's heartbreaking having to go in a different direction or choose something differently here. But the takeaway of this is something that you may not see now, but you may see further down the road. You just have to have this awareness that it happened the way that it's supposed to happen, and maybe you can't see all the evidence of why that is. Yeah, the Devil in reverse. So there's something that's here that may have been just completely overwhelming you. You know, this is like you've been trying to break yourself free from this, but you didn't know how. Why is the... You may have been holding on to something out of fear as well, like being afraid to let it go, or being afraid. Like, have you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, I was afraid this was going to happen"? You know, you may have kind of been determined not for something not to happen, that it actually happened. Um, that happens when we try to control something so much so. It also happens when there's neglect, like when we neglect ourselves and what we really need. When we try to hold on to something because we put so much effort into it, but we know we need to let it go. This reminds me of a friend of mine had a business, and she had built this business. It was such a gorgeous place, and like brought in a lot of people, and it was for well-being and health, and she got to where prices were going up, and she just couldn't afford to stay in that same spot that she had built up the way that she did and everything. And it was sad she had to let that go, but the blessing out of it is she got to spend time with her babies, um, and her husband, which she had been wanting to do, and not worry about the things that she was worrying about with business. So it's like there's always, I feel like that God never takes anything away from us without giving us something, but we just have to open our eyes up to what that blessing is. And I think that's something that's here that you're kind of experiencing or going through with this world and helpless. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. The Queen of Pentacles with the World, it's kind of like growing up. It's going into a new phase. This has to do with nurturing yourself, doing what's best or right for yourself. Like, this new moon in Cancer talks a lot about your inner security. So nurturing yourself and doing what's right for yourself in order for you to have the best new beginning or new outcome is something that's really difficult. But through this, even though you feel out of control, you feel helpless in this ending of this chapter here, you still know that you are still leveling up. You just can't see it. You just don't see it. Okay. Sometimes we have to go backwards to go forwards. Page of Wands in the reverse. This is kind of like when you have to go and discover different opportunities, but you really don't want to. Like, those aren't the choices that you really want to make, but it's the choices more like you have to make in order to like prioritize your well-being, prioritize what's important. And still being heartbroken over that, Why is Wisdom here with that Four of Cups in the reverse? Death. Definitely in some sort of ending here. But with every ending becomes a new beginning, and with death becomes a transformation. We see that here with you. What happens is it actually puts you in a place to where you do feel more stable, even though it's something that you really wanted to hold on to. We can't hold on to death. We'll start to decay, bugs come. It's not a pretty picture. That sounded like a golly, what is it? Is it Hercules, the cartoon? Where he says something about death, him coming back as a zombie, coming back, and he's like, it's not the pretty picture. What is that off of? Oh, no. That's Anastasia, the cartoon Anastasia, and it's the bat that says that. About the world of the god of the underworld, I think. Isn't that right? Or something like that? Anyway, I might have got those mixed. But death here is Scorpio energy, and it's all about transformation. And you have the Leo energy here, which is all about, your creativity, that childlike energy, stepping into that playful energy with Lighten Up. It's just kind of telling you, okay, this was a chapter that happened or will happen. And this is something that was needed, even if it's something that you didn't want, but it is something that will lead towards a transformation because you stepped into your power. You really did. I mean, even if you felt like you had no control here anyways, you still owned it. Like you still stepped into, okay, this is what it is. This is the direction I have to go. This is what I have to do. And you may not like the choices that you have, but you chose what you needed to. And now you're more aware. You've changed your way of thinking about things, and you can take this knowledge, this lesson, and go in towards your new beginning. So let's see what that looks like. What does that look like? What does your new beginning here with this new moon look like? The Three of Pentacles. That's always good to see. What does it look like? Starting over again is something that's really here with those cherries, you know. Starting over again and doing something new. This has to do with maybe working with others, committing to involving yourself when something else is included. So working on something where it's just not you, there's others that are involved in it, you know, or committing to something new. Queen of Swords. So you have a good head on your shoulders here. Going into this, you see things clearly in this new beginning. Queen of Wands in reverse. You're still in a place to where you're going to have to, like, you have to rebuild your confidence here, but you do see things clearly. You just have to, you'll get to that place, I feel like. You won't be there initially. You know, you have to, it's like something that grows on you. It's that kind of a feeling. The Wheel of Fortune here with that Three of Pentacles. So definitely a big opportunity to work with someone or someone working with you is here. This is something that's fated, that's meant to play out. Queen of Swords. I pulled two cards. You have a King of Cups and a Six of Swords in the reverse. It's a strange looking Six of Swords, huh? Why did I say Six of Swords? It's not the Six of Swords. Well, you have a lot of major arcana here, you know it? It's like a big life change. That's a Six of Wands in the reverse with that Queen of Swords and King of Cups. So this can be like being able to recognize when something is not going in a good direction and correcting it in the process. This could be part of a lesson of what you've learned. When something's starting to not go in the right direction and you correct that. This can also be, if this is someone else, like a significant other, spouse, something, father figure even, King of Cups is here. Someone that is looking at you and they may be like that emotional support that's here for you through this adventure of where you felt like you weren't successful. This is like somebody you can kind of rely on or fall back on. Yeah. This could also be somebody that doesn't have a lot of, like they're more on the, you have to be more logical with them. Like, so it's one of the two things, okay? The other side is you may have to be more logical with someone around you because that's the way that they are. And so you have to, like when you don't bring them a lot of things that you feel like they have the power to hurt your feelings. So you kind of being strong and being logical and saying this is the way that I want to do things, but not really like including in, I want your advice on this, you know, kind of thing could be helpful. So let's just say this is a spouse. I'm just trying to use this as a, for instance, or it could be a father, you know. But let's just say you have certain ideas about things and you go to this person because you cherish or care about their opinion or you want their support. And they're like, that's not going to be successful. I don't see that happening. That's just not going to work. You have to make sure that you're standing strong in your Queen of Swords and knowing that you know what's right and you know what's best. And perhaps maybe they just can't see it. If this is someone that's emotionally attached to you, it could be that this person may feel like they're kind of protecting you from some sort of possible unsuccessful thing. So their way of, and it could be like they're projecting, you know, maybe they didn't do good in something, and so they don't want you to have to go through that again, or you know, or go through that what they felt, or whatever the case. And they could have good intentions here, but you need to make sure that you're also like checking back in with yourself. And if you can see a plan working out clearly, then I would say go for it, you know. But use your own discernment with that, of course. Why is the Queen of Wands here in the reverse? You have the Star in the reverse. If you can't get to a place to where you are confident in where you are, and you can see the blessing in disguise, then you may not actually fully obtain the desire that you want. You have to feel confident about it. And in order to feel confident about it, I think that you need to lighten up. I think that for whoever I'm speaking to, moving in the future, I think that you're going to be in a period to where, okay, whatever happened has happened, and that's behind me now. And now I'm in a place to where I need to recoup. I need to look towards the future. I need to be confident. And now I understand things a little deeper, a little better. I've learned from this, and I can move forward and still have a dream or a goal. And it's okay if you don't. You know, maybe you don't know exactly what that looks like in the future. Maybe you don't have that exact, you know, dream of what exactly you want. But it's the process of going through it and understanding yourself and understanding more and more of why you are where you are, why things happened in a certain way, that you start to understand what it is that you want now. So giving yourself some time and space, I think, is important. Yeah, you have the Tower in reverse. So there's definitely some Tower moment, and you're kind of picking up the pieces from that. And the Fool there, yeah, I love it. And the Two of Cups. So some of y'all you really do have an emotional support around you. This can also look like maybe you're getting into some sort of new contract, you know, with a partnership with someone else. But you do have this, like with every ending, like we said, becomes a new beginning, but it involves maybe perhaps taking a risk, you know, in the future. Maybe in the future here, you may take a risk around a new relationship or business partnership here. Yeah. Which may end up being kind of a far stretch from where you thought you would be. You know? This could be even sharing a contract with someone, sharing your business with someone, bringing on a partner here. Let's get some advice. We're going to start with the answer oracles. So really taking some time for yourself to meditate, to be with, you know, the divine God, the creator, whatever, the higher source, spirit. Just take some time to kind of sit with yourself and listen to your higher self, listen into your intuition. You don't have to know what you're going to do or what it's going to look like right now, you know. It's okay to be in the present moment. I think that's where you're supposed to be. Okay. What advice do you have for Paul 3 about this new moon? Spendthrift. So maybe be careful of your spending there. And you may be just thinking about what maybe you wasted a lot of money here building something up and then it didn't work out. But don't fixate too much on the gambling part of things, because it will keep you like afraid to take any more risk in the future. So just say it was good for what was when you had it. You know, it filled your days full of joy and blessings for the time period that you had it. Countryside. So there's something here about cultivating investing into something. Continue to invest into something. And terrific is here. So we have fantastic results, greatness, and great moments. Okay, and chaos is at the bottom. So, as far as advice goes, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Look, they're both the clock towers. So that may mean something to somebody. You know, that's like Back to the Future. Always reminds me of the clock tower. I think that. I think of that. And it's like he keeps going back to the past to try to change things, but then it's just, it never, like, something's always off, you know? Um, that's something that's here too. It's like, if you can't keep thinking if you could go back to the past and fix it, it would go a different way. Like, that's something that will just keep you stuck in the past, and then you're already in the future. Like, you're in this new energy. Keep going into this new energy. Um, you don't need to look back anymore. You know, you already have all the information that you need from that. So keep moving forward. You know, this may have been something that was very abrupt or very unpredictable in some way, and when we experience something that's like that, it does take us a little bit longer to find balance, you know, again. And that's okay. That's the whole point of this reading, is spending some time in that energy and allowing yourself to kind of go through those emotions, and but keep moving forward and working towards another goal, working towards something else. You know, you get 100,000 times to start again. That's life. So be careful with spending here or now. This may be a lesson that you've learned with this. Not wasting your time or energy or resources, and continue to invest into what you feel like is right or best for you, or even yourself. And I feel like you're going to see some great results of this. I feel like this is a reading where in about a month, or maybe 2, maybe longer, I just feel like you're going to be like, understand what happened here with everything, and it's going to all make sense. You know, it's going to be like a faded memory at some point. I think that you're going to feel a lot better. I think that you're going to feel good about where you are. You know, maybe you wanted the best of both worlds, and you're going to get that. You had to give a little. Okay. Maybe it was a lot you had to give. You know, maybe it was a big thing. Okay, so let's see what the future holds for you, Paul. 3. Socialize. Okay, so interacting with others brings balance and happiness. So you're socializing again, or you're getting out there, or maybe this is networking even. That will bring you some balance. What's the future hold for Paul? 3. Reconciliation. So this could just be like reconciling with the past, you know, like what we talked about, what you can expect in the future here. It says the renewal of the past connection is taking place. So I think in the future, it's all going to, like I said, come together and make sense. Kind of forgiving what happened in the past so that you can move forward. Yeah, and you have nurture here. So continuing to nurture yourself. Self-love is essential. A time to address your needs and ground yourself. And then you have balance. So you will find that balance. It's there. Something is not equal give and take. Focus on balancing yourself. There was something here going on that was taking more from you than it was giving. And you had to, maybe you were pushed into making a choice, or you just had to make a choice. But you will find balance again. You will get through this. You will reconcile. You will have a new opportunity. It may include others or someone else. It will make sense in the future, in the near future. Keep socializing. Keep nurturing yourself, putting yourself out there. Questions you should ask yourself. What are my best qualities? So what can you bring to the table? Think about those and nurture those. What can I bring to the table? What is any other questions that Pile 3 should be asking themselves? Maybe. Okay, so we have how and how often do I give myself permission to enjoy life? How do I feel then? How and how often do I give myself permission to enjoy life? This is the lightening up energy. It's like, okay, if this is business, leave business as business, and then don't bring it home with you, where your blessings are, where your joy is, because it can run over into other areas of, this is about something running over into other areas of your life, and then creating that serious Queen of Swords kind of straightforward, logical state of mind in other areas. Allowing yourself to lighten up where you can lighten up, I think, is really important here, because that's how you can bring balance to and inner peace to yourself. Okay. Y'all may be someone that's very busy, because I feel tired. I feel like, not tired like I need to take a nap, but just like, okay, on to the next thing. It's that kind of feeling. So slow down, maybe. Slow down and smell the roses. Okay, y'all have gentleness. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Yeah, you may have beat yourself up about something here at some point. I speak with gentleness, and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself, and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with the baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders, and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. That's so sweet. Thinking about that, sweet. Okay, so let's get a postcard from Spirit, see what they have for you, and then we'll get some initials to close. Okay. What advice do you want to leave pile 3 with? Give them something good. Give them something good. Okay, we have, you are divine beauty. Dear you, the simple yet powerful law of cause and effect means that everything is in relationship. Every action on earth has a consequence. And even in the spirit world, there are consequences for every action taken on your behalf. Right now, you're facing conditions that were set into motion by past decisions. Consequences are coming into being in your favor. They will remind you that making good choices and listening to your intuition pay off. If some things are a little off and uncertain, know that whatever you're facing, you can step beyond it just by using your imagination and acting on that instead of reacting to what is being presented. Everything that you think and do has far-reaching reverberations in the web of life. Move to higher ground and have faith that what goes around comes around. The universe is always self-correcting anyways. Isn't that amazing? How we adore you? That's the thing here with this. It's like, what goes around comes around. So if you're doing your best, if you had to do something difficult, if you had something that was not in your control, you had to move in a direction you didn't want to have to move into, if you had to leave something behind that you put a lot of effort into, a lot of resources in, all of these things that happen can actually be moving us into a higher ground. We just don't see it. It could have been exactly what you've been wanting or manifesting. Sometimes we can't see it because we're in the process of letting go. But if you continue to be in this place to where you are, what goes around comes around, where you're working on yourself, you're overcoming it, you're doing what you need to do, you're focused on nurturing yourself and trying to find balance with this, and you're not staying stuck in this heartbreak or this state of mind of helplessness, but realizing that you are in control and now you still have choices moving forward, then that will come back around on you. Everything has a way of coming back around. And it says the universe is always self-correcting anyway, right? So especially if you've been really on yourself for some choice or something that you've done that you feel like you could have done better or did differently or whatever the case, you have that knowledge now, so do that moving forward. And it will the universe will correct itself, correct all that for you, and you'll end up getting the same thing that you wanted and more, you know. Okay, so don't fall into bad habits. And I usually don't say that with this chocolate donut, but for some reason it just popped into mine. Don't fall into the bad habit of indulging, perhaps, or yeah, just don't fall into bad habits. Choose happy. Work hard, dream big. Yep, keep working, keep dreaming. You have the photograph here. So yeah, you know, memories. Sometimes we have to take things as the good memories that we had in those days that we had on, like I said before, and move forward. You are worth it. We have C, an N, a Y, an X, an H, and an E. We have hey. That's there. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave you right here. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope this resonated. I hope it made sense. Good luck to you guys with this. I'm rooting for you. And thank you so much for your love and your support and your kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, Pile 4. So if you chose the full moon in Cancer, let your fears dissolve. So we're asking what the new moon in Cancer is bringing you. So first, before we start, I'm going to read to you what the manifestation is of this card, because this is what your reading is going to pertain to. It says, fear and neediness may now be at play. Fear is debilitating, while neediness isn't usually very attractive. Acting out of fear is a risky response. So if you dwell on your insecurities, what you manifest is an extension of those insecurities. The reason why we face our fears is that in doing so, they often simply dissolve. If we don't face them, they could influence us to act in ways that we otherwise wouldn't, which means that we can end up manifesting the very thing that we were hoping to avoid. To see off the fear that's in you, face it right now. Find a balance between Cancer's oversensitivity and Capricorn's coolness. Facing your fear and working out where they come from will point you in the right direction and get you into the right mindset. So the mindset you need to get into involves you facing the fear and figuring out where that fear actually comes from. And that's going to point you in the right direction. Okay, so you need to face your fear and figure out why you're even afraid of it to begin with. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a spirit message oracles. Let's put this on this side. This is the side for this card, I guess. To kind of give us an overall look, you know, a message from the higher source to help us and guide us through this reading. What message do you have for pile 3 about the new moon? Oh boy. Oh boy. You have number 33 here. Phase entanglement. Emotional influence. Interesting. So this may pertain to something that you feel like is something that you're afraid of here. It may be someone else's emotional influence that they have on something, on a situation. This is going to be interesting reading. Okay, let's go ahead and get some oracles, and then we'll get the tarot, which let me grab because I don't know why. I got everything else ready for your reading, but I didn't get the oracles or the tarot out on my desk, which, by the way, we're going to use the Way Spell tarot, which I guess it's just called the Way Spell tarot. But they do make a lot of different ones. Okay, set that to the side. All right. So, emotional influence. This definitely, I feel like, involves other people. And you having a lot of emotions about other people and maybe what they think about you, what they're saying about you. But I think this has to do with letting go of your fears around that. Maybe you feel like you've gotten kind of entangled into something and you don't want to be. Okay. One more. What is this new moon bringing for pile 4? Blessings. Well, that's a good thing. Okay, I can already tell you right now, we have true love here, and then we also have determined. Okay, there may be some other people around you. This to me is different. Y'all's card is different. Y'all's spirit message card seems very different from everyone else's. Everyone else's came through as a more of a message, as a helpful message. Y'all's is coming through more as of a warning or something that you need to see going into this new moon. And I think it has to do with not entangling yourself into other people's opinions, even if that has to do with you. Not letting it influence you emotionally. Okay, with that being said, I do feel like that there is this, you have blessings, true love, and determined here. So I do feel like that there may be a situation that you feel really good or happy about, and it may pertain to love. You have the 2 swans, so maybe you felt like you've met somebody, you've met your mate. Or this could have to do with what you really love, what you really care about, what's important to you. You also have divine timing is here as well. You also, at the bottom of the deck, have disappointed. Y'all's reading is a lot different from everyone else's. I feel like y'all's reading has to do with not letting your emotions get the best of you. I feel like this feels like you have something in front of you that you're kind of worried about what other people think or saying or doing. You're letting that get to you in a way where it's keeping you from being able to experience your emotions that you feel. And I think that you're kind of disappointed because you feel like it's not going in the way that you thought it would. With this right here, disappointed and lost. I feel like this has to do with a relationship or just something that you really love or care about. But other people that are around you that are able to influence your emotions, they're either talking about it or they don't have the best of intentions here with this. I don't like this energy, to be honest. It feels like somebody talking about your blessings, what you have going on. This could also be just, a relationship that you feel very blessed to have. And timing being a big factor here for whatever reason, we'll figure out. Other people having a lot to say about it. Okay. Some other people may have a lot to say about something to do with timing around a relationship. I think that you were looking for support, or there's something here that you saw as a blessing, but you have other people around you that may be jealous or insecure, or they're just like trying to put your blessing down in some way. Tell me more about what we're talking about here, this new moon for pile 4 with the let your fears dissolve with blessings. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles, it slows you down. True love. The 6 of Wands. determined. The Four of Swords. Don't let anyone else affect the direction that you're taking. Because I think that's what's creeping in here. They make you second guess something. Why is the divine timing here? 2 cards I pulled. The Hermit, Virgo energy, and the Two of Swords. Oh, no. No. Other people somehow or another entangle themselves into your phase that you're going through, perhaps in a relationship or something like that. And it causes you to rethink the timing of something. It causes you to rethink something. It kind of makes you confused because these are people that you're emotionally involved or attached to in some way. So they have that effect on you. You have this determination to reevaluate things. You know, what is going on here with this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse? The Six of Pentacles in the reverse. This feels like you were hoping like somebody was happy for you and they're not, or you know, something like that. And it makes you rethink. Like they have a lot to say about your blessings. I think that you have someone that's jealous here around this. This may not be love, okay? For some of you, whatever it is, you're doing it out in the open. This is the Six of Wands. So you're really like putting whatever this is out there. You're including others in this. You're expressing this, or you're showing this, or some way or another. You know, it's there that this is what you love, or who you love. But you have others around you that are not seeing it in the same way. Now the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. This is something that you may have been procrastinating telling others, or you've just kind of been taking a step back. If this is a relationship, you may have allowed other people to get in their opinions to get in the way of the relationship. Like, especially when it comes to fairness or reciprocity, with the Six of Pentacles being in reverse. Like you saw it as a blessing, but for some reason others may have said something to you or made you feel a certain way to where it made you more afraid of maybe disappointment here. And so you took a step back. Huh. Four of Swords. The Hierophant. It's making you reevaluate everything. Let's just say that there's somebody here that you see as a blessing. You're going to get married to that person. Like you're living in this like world where you feel like you feel really good, you know, about whatever this is. And then, but you have others around you that maybe you overheard it too. Maybe it wasn't directly to you, but you have others around you that say something about this that causes you to like pause from giving to it, or it makes you think about things, reevaluate things, reevaluate a commitment here with the Hierophant. And it kind of makes you feel like, okay, well, maybe I'm not making the right decision. Maybe it's not the right time for me. Maybe I'm making the wrong decision at this time. And it definitely causes some fear, and it does influence your outcome. What is happening here? What is this about? Tell me more about this. This is to me like when you see something as a blessing, but other people don't understand it. And they're like, that seems more like a curse than a blessing. You know, you know what I mean? Can you give me more contents, please, on this? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Again, something that you saw as very fortunate and something that's good you know, where others are not seeing it in that way. And like timing is a big deal here. So time may have been an issue, or something was said about time, or something not working out. Like, oh, that's not going to work out. You know, that kind of you're wasting your time on that. I think it's not going to work out. You know, something like that. Why? This is like when someone else is like, they're projecting onto you, or they're jealous, or they fear your success in some way. Tell me about the Page of Pentacles in the reverse with the Six of Wands. Yeah, the Nine of Swords in reverse. It makes you hold off on something. It's like, well, maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait here. Maybe I should hold off. I think some of y'all, you may have already done, this may have already played out. You may have gotten some bad advice. Can you give me a card for this phase entanglement here? Ooh, Queen of Swords in the reverse. You may have gotten some bad advice from someone here. Queen of Swords, Libra energy. Can be an air sign, doesn't have to be. Aquarius or Gemini. This has to do with cutting someone off or out. Or tell me more about this Queen of Swords in the reverse. This is definitely another person that's here. Tell me about this Queen of Swords in reverse. Somebody giving bad advice about temperance, about balance and fairness. Someone gave you some not great advice here about balancing a situation out or being fair in a situation. And it had an emotional impact on you, where you second-guessed yourself. And it caused you to pause because you started to get in your head about it, what this person said, about what's fair or balanced, and something working out. And then it made you reevaluate what you were committing to here, the Devil in reverse. Yeah, this is overcoming your fear right here. It made you like think again about all the things that you're afraid of when it comes to commitment, committing yourself to something. You had to redo. This is hard because it feels like something that you feel really good about, you feel dead set on, you feel like is a blessing. You have this opportunity, you're excited about it, and then someone says something to put you in your head that I honestly feel like doesn't have the greatest of intentions. I don't feel like this is, even if you're emotionally connected to this person, this is definitely someone here that I don't feel like has the best of intentions or can give the best of advice. Queen of Swords in reverse is someone that tends to project things onto others because they have their own unhealed wounds. So they may have caused a disappointment here for you by you planting some seeds in your mind. Why is that Two of Swords here with the Hermit? Capricorn's there with the Devil. Look at that. So there's the Seven of Pentacles. See, this is the Seven of Pentacles here. The Six, and then he's holding the One with the Wheel of Fortune. So some of y'all, you may have lost an opportunity, or you may have lost an opportunity to have some sort of blessing here because of someone else jumping in, expressing their opinion and putting you in your head about it. And what something was, what you were committing to, and how fair or balanced that was. That Six of Pentacles that's there. Divine timing, Two of Swords. It's almost like waiting, waiting to decide, This, whatever this is, most definitely put you in your head about what you were investing into and the decision that you were making and needing to think about it better. Maybe you need to reevaluate. What did this person say to you? Tell me, I want to know more about this person. Who is this person? Sagittarius is here as well with Temperance. Who's this person? The Six of Swords in reverse. This is somebody that wanted to keep you stuck. Why? This is someone that doesn't want you to like take off or go anywhere. They want to keep you kind of where you are, stuck. The Five of Swords. I don't know what this means. I don't know who this person is to you. But this is someone that's like trying to keep you stuck and using compromise, balance, and fairness as their defense of why you should reevaluate something. The Five of Swords in reverse. What was the purpose behind this? It's almost like this person was just trying to cause some chaos for you somehow or another, or they're trying to throw a wrench in your parade, you know, with the Six of Wands. I mean, I feel like for some of you, I feel like this has already happened. I feel like it worked. And now you're sitting in this place here where you're like, now what? Tell me more about this Queen of Swords in reverse. This person here I think you need to be aware of. King of Cups in reverse. This person does not have the best of intentions. Whatever they said to you, whatever advice they've given you here, it was for their own benefit. They were manipulating the circumstances by telling you whatever this is. It may have been that they were just projecting their own story onto you, but do they have... Was that it? Was it just a projection? Do they have intentions? What is this person's intentions towards pile 4? The Seven of Cups. Okay. Oh, I don't like this at all. This could have been somebody that wanted to be one of your options. And so if you had... This is like somebody that gets in the way of a relationship because they want they want to see you have conflict. They want to see you stuck. So that they can be an option. This is somebody that like keeps you in your head. This is an illusion, you know? This is the point. They want you to be emotionally confused about what to do. But I don't know what the point is of... What do they get out of this? What do they get out of this? Judgment in reverse. I hate to say that. I hate having readings like this, but I mean, y'all know who this is. Judgment in reverse is like somebody wanting you to make the wrong choice. They want to see you down. They want to see you go down. They want to see this downfall. They want you to be confused. They want to start chaos for you. They want you to be stuck. They want you to reevaluate a decision that you've made. Or to be in your head. Is this person like jealous? What the hell? Hold on, I gotta pull y'all's reading is just totally different. This is somebody that wants you to see something their way. They want you to be confused and see something their way. They could have said something about somebody that you were with. You have Scorpio energy there too. Tell me, what do we need to know about this person over here? This Queen of Swords in reverse. Blessed union. Blessed union. This is somebody that maybe... Hold on. In Queen Bee, this is somebody that wants you for themselves. They want you to be stuck on them, or they want you for themselves. Oh, be careful of this person. I really feel like, what do they need to know about this person? Temptation. This person, I don't like this energy at all. If this is a love thing, this is somebody that would manipulate your mind around your life and the direction that you're taking and where you're going, just so they can have either an opportunity with you, because they're tempted by you, they're maybe even obsessed with you, they want a chance with you. If this is like a family member or friend, this is somebody that just wants to keep you stuck. They want to keep you weak. This is a card of weakness. I don't like this at all. Look, what's on the bottom of the deck? The Devil's Domain, obsession, addictions, and poor habits, codependency. Two possibilities. Being at a crossroads. Soul family. So this could be family for some of you. This is somebody that wants to keep you in your head. They plant seeds in order to keep you stuck. I don't know who this is. Y'all only know who this is. Queen of Swords in the reverse. Somebody that got in the way of this blessing that you had. This is interesting. Okay. What's going to happen here moving forward? Because I think most of you, the way I'm reading this, you're currently in this state of decision and are timing, waiting, trying to figure out what you're going to do. That Hermit in reverse. Tell me more about this. For some of y'all, this may be somebody you work with. That was kind of talking crap about you and where you are, but really they were talking crap about it because they wanted you, or they were talking crap about it because you did something that they wanted, you know? I don't know, but I feel like this person got what they wanted out of this, which is you being in your head and second guessing yourself. I mean, this may not be love. This could just be, you know, something that you love to do. I do feel like for some of y'all, there's a relationship here, though. What's going to happen here moving forward for pile 4? Okay. Death just did a somersault and fell out on my lap. That's Scorpio energy, so something's going to change. Ace of Cups. Something to do with their relationship is changing. It's a new ending and a new beginning. You have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. What's going to happen here moving forward? Page of Swords in the reverse. I mean, I don't think that you're going to be listening to others. I think that you're going to make a decision here to change your situation. Continue and transform or change your situation. I think this divine timing, I think there was just a stuck energy here where someone really put you in your head. It may or may have not messed things up for you, because the devil and the Hierophant, like the devil tried to get in the way of something that was meant for you, or what was right for you, or a blessing. And it may have delayed it, but it didn't take it away completely. So there's this, the Death is here to show, like, yeah, there's this transformation that's taking place, a new beginning that's here. And this to me is like giving up on whatever it is that you outside influences, you know? Tell me about Death. Whatever it is that this person has convinced you of, it doesn't really ever come to be. Death, what is Death? The Magician in reverse. That's Gemini energy. What is the Ace of Cups? You have the Eight of Cups in reverse. You're recovering something. There goes my voice. There's something here that you're recovering. There's a new beginning or a renewal here. There's something here with this Eight of Cups in reverse that you are still emotionally invested into. And there's a renewal when it comes to that. That Magician in reverse with that Death. Give me one more for that. The Empress. Love that. So not feeling good enough or not feeling like you have what it is that you need, this is what's going to be ending, okay? You're going to step into your power here. And what's changing is that your confidence is changing. There's going to be this renewal, this Knight of Wands in reverse, King of Pentacles in reverse. You're letting go of the pressure that you put on yourself. Whatever you were pressuring yourself for, or whatever was here where you were feeling like you were obligated to. Whatever it was that was overwhelming for you is trying to be this King of Pentacles perhaps, or a King of Pentacles is here. Trying to live up to a certain expectation or an idea of, this could be like somebody putting an idea in your head that you're not capable of doing something. You know, this is what you're letting go of. This harsh energy that you've placed on yourself. The fears that follow with that. Of what you can do, what you're capable of. Why is the Page of Swords here in reverse? The Five of Cups in reverse. You're not listening to others here anymore. This Five of Cups is moving on from what other people say or do, or moving on from listening to gossip or listening to others. You know, not making that mistake. I'm not making that mistake again. That's what's here. You have Taurus and a Libra with that Empress energy. King of Pentacles in reverse. Most definitely this is letting go of what other people say. Yeah, the Three of Cups in reverse. That's gossip. And other people, you know. So whatever this is, you do recover this. It is being able to be recovered, that's a good thing. Why is the Five of Cups in reverse? King of Cups, or Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I think this is like listening to everyone else about something not working out or not going in your favor, not, you know, allowing others to get to you and their fears to like be yours, you know, that kind of thing. Their jealousies or insecurities, or even if this is somebody that just wanted a chance with you, so they created a blockage in your life so that they could have that opportunity. Whatever this is, I feel like you're overcoming it. You're not making the same mistake again. You're moving from this. You've grown. You've learned. Maybe you don't have all the tools that you need. Maybe you're not in the position to where you can, you really, it has everything that you desire at this time. But that doesn't mean that it can't be something that evolves and changes down the road. So you don't have to just pull back your energy and say, well, I just can't do it. And I think that's what somebody tried to convince you of. Like something was just not ever going to work or never going to come together right. Give me one for that Eight of Cups in reverse with that Ace of Cups. I'll take them both. Yeah. There's your 9 Wands right there. The 7 of Wands is defending a choice. So if this has to do with the relationship, or it has to do with, you know, whatever it is, it's like coming back in and fighting for the decision that you made and why you made that decision, in order to renew a relationship, or in order to renew or balance out an opportunity that you have. This is like kind of coming in, this is like kind of explaining yourself, in a way, you know, why you made the decisions that you did, why you chose the route that you took, you know. And this could be some kind of gossip or something that you've even heard, and you have to explain to someone why you acted a certain way, or why you did something. And it was because you had other people in your ear. Page of Wands is in reverse at the bottom of the deck with the King of Swords and the Strength with the Page of Cups and the Hanged Man. So I think you're moving forward and trying to overcome what you feel like you've lost or you could have lost. Seeing something in a different perspective, opening up or being vulnerable, having the strength and the courage to do what you feel like is right or the best thing. And even if someone doesn't understand, or even if someone turns you away, there's still this desire to want to step in and do the right thing. Whatever this is here, this is like static that got in the way of your blessings. Tried to put fear in your head. You know, this is like devilish energy here with this temptation, Queen Bee and Blessed Union. To be honest with you guys, this could have even been someone that you yourself may have even been tempted by. Not everybody's story, but like there was someone here that was that tempted you away from your blessings in some way, but you figured it out, that person is not, it wasn't what it wasn't what you thought or what you were feeling. Mature woman is here, number 6. Look, they're in the same dress. Queen Bee, mature woman. So this could be someone older than you. This could be just a mature woman. This could be someone you looked up to. This could be a mother figure even. That's crazy. They're in the same dress. And it's the number 6. This is the number 33. What else can you tell me about this person over here? I'm trying to get you as much information as I can. Occupation. This could be somebody that you work with. Like I did say that. Look, toil and labor. So this may be definitely somebody that you work with. So this person could have even just like made you confused, like got in your head. And this person didn't have good intentions here. They tried to screw some things up for you. They tried to get you to change your mind. Look at their perspective. Like, I feel like most of y'all figured this person out pretty quickly. I don't feel like that it took very long for this person, for you to see, what they were really doing or who they really were. And you didn't like it. I don't think you liked it. Okay. What advice do you have for pile 4? I went straight into advice. I forgot to get future energies here. You have another opportunity here to renew something or to start again, but you're going to have to like fight for this chance. My throat is like seizing up on me. You have destiny here, responsibility, road, and shackles. So in order to play out your destiny now, where you sit, you have to take responsibility for the decisions that you made. Evolution. In order for something to transform or change or have a new beginning, you have to be able to take responsibility for how things have played out. Painting is here, so telling a story, telling your side of the story. We have promise here, making promises or an oath, having an emotional bond here that you feel aligned with, or trying to get someone to cooperate with you now. Even if this is a work thing, it's like somebody tried to veer you off into a different direction, and it's almost like somebody tried to steal something away from you. It's not a good feeling as a reader. The way that this is making me feel, it doesn't feel good. What is this? What is my biggest dream? What can I do today to be more closer to my dream? And this may be it. Maybe you had a dream here that you were living the dream, and somebody just walked in here, stuck their big old nasty foot in your blessing, and screwed it up for you. This is also about conveying emotions. So whatever this is, I think you do get back on track. But I think that you have to take responsibility for what happened or who you listened to or whatever the case, how something got in the way. And grow from that and tell your story about that, convey what your perspective was. What's the future hold for pile 4? Express and love. I mean, it's time to have a heart-to-heart conversation, and feelings are real and true and worth exploring. This connection between lovers, a feeling of complete emotional happiness. And you have ex-partner here, so this could have been somebody that, not this person. No, we're just gonna exit out of that person. They're done. They've had their platform. This could be somebody that you had an unfinished love connection with, somebody that you were involved with, and this is somebody or something that got in the way of that. What question should pile 4 be asking themselves? Let's get one more. Okay. Look, that same card came out. That's pretty cool. Should have left it on the table the first time. So what is my biggest dream? What can I do today to move closer to that dream? So what is it that you really dream now that you got all this confusion or chaos out of the way, this devil here out of the way? What do you, like the fears, they dissolved now? You have more confidence and believe in yourself. You just, it's so frustrating too when we see ourselves allowing other people to affect our choices. Like, it's hard, isn't it? But you can still start again, and you still have this opportunity here to still play out this dream. But what do you need to do in order to get closer to what that dream is? Is there something that I should let go of to be more able to move forward? So is there something here? And it may be what I just said. It may be like you holding on to, like, resenting this person for doing this, because this is hard, because it's like someone does something knowing good and well what they're doing. It's like coming in and destroying something in your life intentionally, and you listened to them. And to them, it doesn't matter at all. But to you, it affected you big time. And you may hold on to anger and resentment with that. And this is kind of saying, you have to kind of let that go, perhaps, in order to be able to move forward completely. Take responsibility, Either way, even if they did come in the way of something, it was still a choice that you made. You still allowed it at the end of the day. So just forgive yourself, forgive the situation, and move forward. Trust. I trust that everything will be okay in the end. Partly because I simply know in my gut, but it's also because it's way more fun to live with trust and confidence than to be a defensive wiener. So trusting in yourself moving forward is something that's here. It's hard too, because when we fall into like listening to someone else, then we can be in a place, and this might have to do with work or something, but it can put us in a place to where we're like, okay, I'm not listening to anybody ever again, or we get real defensive about advice. But it doesn't make it easy for you moving forward, right? But you have to just be able to listen to your gut and trust in yourself. And this should reassure yourself that you're on the right path. You're not going to let anything else get in the way of that, or listening to anyone else. Okay, y'all have with love. Dearest you, we have a secret for you. The more you think you know, the less you actually do. So if you're willing to keep an open mind, you will avoid the narrow confines of the know-it-all and open up to unlimited potential that can be discovered only by the curious optimist. Curiosity allows you to discover new things, see the world from a different perspective, and find answers to questions that you might not even know to ask. Right now, whatever's going on, it's important to know that you are not aware of all the aspects of it that you need to see to make an informed choice. You might be projecting a story that isn't totally true. So moving forward, your mantra could be, I don't know, or that's interesting. As you keep your mind and your heart open to new experiences and a richer existence overall, all of us over here want you to be all you can be. We are cheering for you. Can you hear us? Trusting in yourself moving forward is a really big part of this. And knowing that that doesn't mean that you have to have all the facts or all the truth. Because this person here, I feel like what happened is they made you feel like you need to look more into something. And because you spent more time looking into something, it caused you to take a step back, which may have led to some sort of ending elsewhere or destruction elsewhere because you took your mindset off of something, right? And, fear got in the way of that. Oh, I thought I lost my initials here, or my charms. So you don't have to know everything. Leave some wiggle room in there for Spirit to throw some more blessings your way. Unexpected surprises, Okay. Also, be very careful about who you're getting advice from. I think you had a lesson about that. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. So there you go. We are what we believe we are. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. Life is tough, but so are you. Yeet or be yeeted. Now that you have the information that you have, or you have the understanding that you do, what are you going to do with it? That's really a make or break thing. What are you choosing to do with it? We have JBH. Come here. SOV, Q, and X. Boxes. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave you right here. And hopefully you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated and makes sense. Good luck to you guys with this. I'm sending you so much love and light. And thank you so much for being here and all your love and support. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.